Hi Stampin' friends, and this is the video for this prized peony card, or this one. It's actually the same card. It's just the flip side of the patterns. And in your kit, I gave you all the pieces that you need to do either card, including the little scalloped square that the happy birthday goes on in 2 colors, and the center of the flower in 2 colors. Put this over here so you can see it while we work. Or actually, I guess I should put this one, since that's probably what I'm gonna do. You can see this paper has the petal pink with the white lines for the peonies on this side. And on this side, it has kind of a tile background in the gray granite. And then this one has the white background with petal peony flowers on it, and the background is the gray granite with the lines in the whisper white. So that makes it kind of fun. So I'm going to show you how I start. First of all, I'm going to go ahead, kind of out of order, I guess it seems, and put some of my mono multi glue, liquid glue, on this square doily. Those are new in the catalog, and I think they are very cute and fun. So what I'm doing here is putting on the big places, I'm putting some liquid glue so that, oops, and you always want to check these because this one had a little dot still in it. We don't want any extra dots. So any place that's large enough to adhere some glue, I'm going to go ahead and put a little dot on, just kind of here and there and everywhere. So I think that is probably enough. I can go ahead. Now what I did on this, you could also turn it, I guess you'd say like this direction, but that's going to make it a little harder to get on the front of your card because you have a smaller space than you normally do. But you know, on another type card, that would be super cute turned that way. So I'm just going to try to line this up on there, and since it's liquid glue, I can kind of scoot it just a little bit to get it exactly where I want it. Try to get it where it looks even in all the corners and at the bottom. Then I'm just going to lay it aside so that it can go ahead and dry. I'll punch all the places that I remember putting glue. Okay, so the way I did this was I scored first, just folded it over, and then I put my little strip of a scallop circle on here. I want you to see that circle. It's that scallop. It's really cute how it has the little detail of the embossing on there. I think that's really sweet, kind of like a loop embossing. And then what I cut off of the first one that I thought that looked really nice, I used that piece to line it up on the edge of the next one so that I would get it just like it. And I had the little piece of metal strip here attached to a, you've used them before here in class, the long Post-it note. And so I use that to adhere it to the next card front. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm ready to do a little bit of stamping. So on this Whisper White one, I'm going to use Petal Pink. Where I have it. Okay, got that a little high, but you can see here, there's the happy birthday in the Petal Pink, and it will fade in color over time. Okay. And then, oh, I'm going to use that again here in just a second. In the gray granite, I want to stamp for the Petal Pink. I did take these stamps apart and add my cling to them, so I may have kind of gotten a little carried away with where I put them back on. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to work on that a little bit. But anyway, you get the idea. So the next thing I'm going to do is use my, well, I like to use a little Q-tip as well, but this is my Petal Pink sponge dauber. And I'm going to use that to apply some Petal Pink to my peony pieces. So there are 4 pieces that you have with this. You can see them right there. So what I want to do is try to get some ink on the inside, there you can see, and a little on the outside of each one of these pieces. And it doesn't have to be perfect because that'll just make it more. Now this is going to go in. So what you're going to do is tuck them inside the next biggest one. So this is going to be the side that you want to get some ink on. And you can kind of go at it from both the right and the left, and that will get both sides, and then go down from the top. I don't know if you can see that, sorry. Okay, and then just a little bit over here. And then on this one, remember this is going to go inside again, so this is the part down here that we want to get our ink on. And I just got a little smudge up there, but that's not really going to show all that much because it's going to be covered by the one below it for the most part. I want to put a little over on this side. And then right down here, we're going to put a little just kind of all around the edge. And you can put it make it as dark or as light as you like. If you don't like this, there's certainly no reason that you would need to add this. If you think it looks better without any shading, that is entirely possible. So you don't have to do this. Okay, so there's that. So if there's any spot that you can't get to, like say you wanted to put some right here, a Q-tip works really well to get the little tiny spots. It won't be very fast. I wouldn't suggest trying to do the whole thing, but if there's a spot that you're trying to get down in to do a better job, you can certainly use a Q-tip to kind of get that on there. You're going to see that. Kind of a little tiny, or you could also, you know, if you've got an extra an eyeshadow foam, what'd you call that? Little foamy topped stick, you know? Okay, so the way you want to do this is start with the smallest piece, slide it inside the next smallest piece. There we go. And then these line up on the bottom. Did you see how I just took my finger and just kind of lined them up? So that makes them where they are neat on the front, and it's easy to see that you have it just like it should be. So then you want to just slide it into the next one, and then basically do the, whoops, I've got this caught on there, hold on. Too funny, okay. Don't want the back of that one in there, okay. And then you slide that one in and do the same thing. Get it lined up on the back. And then on the last one, you do the same. Slide it in and then line it up on the back. Now at this point, you could just stick it down, like use glue dots in between here, or use your mono multi glue and just glue it down flat like this. We've done so much sponging on here that it would look fine. But I like to use glue dots to make them kind of puffy. So the first thing I'm going to do is use some small and some large dimensionals. So I will put one here, and I'm just going to go ahead and take off the backing. And if you have, you can use scissors or a set of tweezers or whatever to just scooch them in. And so you'll be doing quite a few little pieces of dimensionals in here, like that. Whoopsie, didn't get that stuck down before there we are. And then I'm going to use a glue dot under my, I guess you would call that like the, the insides of the flower. I'm just gonna slide that right in there. And I'm sticking it, I want as much to show as I can, and I'm sticking it down to the one below it. So this is kind of subjective, just whatever you think looks like enough dimensionals. So I'm gonna keep going here and add one under, tuck it right under there. And then I think right along here would be, whoopsie, didn't get it picked up, would be a good place for a dimensional. Whoopsie, I'm scooting things, glued them together, hold on. And you can always go back to the back and get yourself lined back up if you need to. Does that make sense? You just go back to the back and line them up again so that they're nice and neat. And then you also, when you've got them lined up the way you want, you can take the glue dots and stick these bottom pieces down so that they don't go anywhere. Especially if you're not going to put a dimensional under each one, a glue dot will secure them so that they don't get out of control. So let's go ahead and add a few more dimensionals. Under these big pieces here, I want to go ahead and put a big dimensional right there. Maybe not under that one. And then this back piece I want to pop up off of the back layer. And then I think I want another one under here. Like that. Okay, so let's see if you can see how much more dimension this has now that it's got all of the dimensional layers. And then you can see how many dimensionals I've used, quite a few. And it could even handle more, it wouldn't be a problem. So there is the peony. So now we are ready to adhere our pieces of designer series paper. So you can always use whichever side you want. Totally doesn't make a difference. I believe I cut these pieces into like a layer that layers on, but you could also cut your pieces where they go all the way to the entire edge of the bottom. So that's totally up to you. And I think I am going to use the peach on this one. Oh, I could use this side. Maybe I'll use this side. Use kind of the gray. Okay. So one thing I'm going to try with this is the new way of doing the Stampin' Seal so that I do not feel like I'm tearing it up. So let's see if I can do that. So the suggestion is to leave it flat against the table and just barely tilt it up. So flat against the table and just barely tilt it to line it. And then go like that to twist off when you're finished. So for some reason that seems to be necessary and it seems to help. So, all right. Just centering that up on the bottom. And now I'm just going to put this gray side. Now you don't have to do it just like I did it. You could also use this side and the gray, just whatever you think looks nice. So before I adhere this to the paper, I'm going to go ahead and use this, one of my favorite ribbons ever, this pretty striped organza in the petal pink, and I'm just going to wrap it around here. So I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal again, try to leave it just barely like that. And then just barely like that, and I pulled that up, so I may have done wrong. So you can see that's what I'm not supposed to do, is just pull straight up. I'm supposed to slide it and then twist it away. So we'll see if the next time I go to use it, it's better. Okay, so I just want to get it right along the edge down here. And wrap it around. You can also use a glue dot here, of course. And I'm just leaving a little tiny bit here. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. I'm just leaving a little bit hanging over the edge. And then on the back side, I'm tilting it up just a little so that it won't show out. You certainly don't want it hanging out the bottom. I just want to give it a slight tilt up to hide it. And here I go again. So now we're ready to get this centered on here. And you can see that whoops, I accidentally let it slip down. I have it planned so that you can do it the same distance from the top and the sides, and then just stick it down, and there's going to be plenty extra down here showing so that your full scallop and your little loop detail shows on there. Okay, so that is stuck down. We're ready to add the petal pink from these Elegant Faceted Gems. Put those in the top left corner. These are very pretty. They're kind of a little bit, I think I would call it frosted. Let's see if you can see that on the, whoopsie, wrong way. See how they kind of look frosted in the petal pink. They're shiny, but then also frosted. They also have a clear and then a more frosted look. Okay, so that is that. So I will put the happy birthday on here. I would just use a dimensional or two, probably one on each side, to stick that down. And I actually just stuck it to the top of the ribbon and adhered it down. And then on my peony and my, where'd they go? Here we are. Okay, we're going to just use regular adhesive, and I'm just gonna tuck it so that the edge is under the edge of the ribbon, so you don't actually see the scallop on the bottom. That's how I did that. You can do it however you want. I mean, maybe you would like to have it actually show and tuck it under here because it almost fits the scallop of the scallop edge. So it's totally up to you. And I like to kind of have the edge and the top about the same distance from each other. So if it looks like my top is too far away, then I just scoot it a little bit more to the left. So there's that. Then I'm ready to put my peony on. And I can use either this or I can use some dimensionals. I think I'm going to use dimensionals so that I can use a little bit of depth under the bottom of the peony, like right there. And then I'm going to put on the top, like right across here, just put a little bit here to just adhere it down. Here we are. So I'm just going to add that right in there. And there we are. That was a really simple card to put together. And if you use my tip to do this scalloped edge, that was really quick too. So I hope that you'll make a lot of these if this is a set that you choose from the annual catalog. I appreciate you watching. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.